Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I'm very pleased to have the opportunity to introduce Secretary Blinken, who will speak to the Department's International Religious Freedom Report. We will then hear from Office of International Religious Freedom Senior Official Dan Nadel, who will be happy to take your questions on this year's report. Without further ado, I will turn it over to Secretary Blinken.
We're deeply concerned about what we're seeing there. Images that came out overnight are harrowing, and the loss of any civilian life is a tragedy. I've asked Deputy Assistant Secretary of State Hadi Amr to go to the region immediately to meet with Israeli and Palestinian leaders. He will bring to bear his decades of experience, and in particular, he will urge on my behalf and on behalf of President Biden a de-escalation of violence. We are very focused on this. The United States remains committed to a two-state solution. This violence takes us further away from that goal. We fully support Israel's legitimate right to defend itself. We've condemned, and I condemn again, the rocket attacks in the strongest possible terms. We believe Palestinians and Israelis equally deserve to live with safety and security. And we'll continue to engage with Israelis, Palestinians, and other regional partners to urge de-escalation and to bring calm.
Why are you just sticking to these calls to de-escalation and restraint? What can you do further and to prevent a full-scale war? And also, have you personally talked or tried to talk to the Palestinian leadership, to President Abbas or others? And if not, why, and who on the U.S. side has been in touch with whom on the Palestinian side? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. A few things that are, I think, very important here. We are deeply engaged across the board, the State Department, the White House, senior officials, with the Israelis, with Palestinians, with other countries and partners in the region, to call for and push for de-escalation. To be very clear, again, we strongly condemn the rocket attacks coming out of Gaza that are targeting innocent Israeli civilians. And Israel has a right to defend itself. Palestinians have a right to live in safety and security. And the most important thing going forward now is to take down the violence, to de-escalate. And that's exactly what we're working toward. Jake Sullivan, the National Security Advisor, has been engaged with his counterpart. I've talked to Foreign Minister Ashkenazi. Wendy Sherman, the Deputy Secretary of State, has been engaged as well. And as I mentioned just a short while ago, we are sending our senior official responsible for Israeli and Palestinian affairs to the region. We've been engaged with all parties, including the Palestinians. And that will continue. But the most important thing now is for all sides to cease the violence, to de-escalate, and to try to move to calm.
Kylie?
Thank you for doing this, Secretary. Beyond engagement and calls for de-escalation, I just want to reiterate, is there anything more that the U.S. can do at this point? And my second question is, more than 50 people have been killed in Gaza, including more than a dozen children. So given those casualties, do you think the Israeli response has been proportional?
So first, in terms of what we're doing, the most important thing that we can do right now is exactly what we're doing, which is to be engaged across the board and pushing on de-escalation, not only with Israelis and Palestinians, but also with other partners who are amplifying our voice. And as I said, we're sending a senior diplomat to the region to work on this. So that I think that piece is very important, and our voice, our diplomacy from senior officials across the administration, I hope will have an impact. There is first a very clear and absolute distinction between a terrorist organization, Hamas, that is indiscriminately raining down rockets, in fact, targeting civilians, and Israel's response defending itself that is targeting the terrorists who are raining down rockets on Israel. But whenever we see civilian casualties, and particularly when we see children caught in the crossfire, losing their lives, that has a powerful impact. And I think Israel has an extra burden in trying to do everything it possibly can to avoid civilian casualties, even as it is rightfully responding in defense of its people. And as I said, the Palestinian people have the right to safety and security. And we have to, I think, all work in that direction. So the single most important thing right now is de-escalation. We will continue to carry that message to our partners and in Israel, to the Palestinians, and to partners in the region. Thanks very much.
Secretary.
Thank you.